Welcome, Tarot Maniacs. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. And in this Wednesday video, we are going to continue our 2 for Tuesday channeling challenge. Yesterday, in my 2 for Tuesday videos, I channeled Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip and what they would advise to King Charles and the Prince of Wales, Prince William. So today we're going to pull out a renegade royal, Princess Margaret, and we're going to see what she would advise Prince Harry. And if you remember from his book Spare, there was a whole kerfuffle about her giving him, the royals give each other gag gifts on Christmas, and he gave her a biro, a pen for you Americans, with a fish on it. And the joke escaped Harry, and he kind of mocked Princess Margaret, who, in my opinion, is probably one of the hippest royals ever to walk the planet. So let's get into it right after this. Welcome back, Tarot Maniacs. So today we're calling in another renegade royal to hopefully advise the current modern day renegade royal, Prince Harry. So Princess Margaret, she was glamorous, she was passionate, but most of all, she was rebellious. Rumor has it that she dated, I think, Keith Richards at one point. Famously, she had worn one of her tiaras in the bathtub and was photographed. And that image is still out there. My favorite person that played her was Helena Bonham Carter in the Crown. I loved the years that Helena Bonham Carter played her. But the question that we're going to ask Princess Margaret is, what would she say to Prince Harry if she could advise him today? So we're going to do this in 3 parts. We're going to talk about her unsuitable loves and what Harry can learn from that. We're going to talk about the challenge of mismatched marriages. The first marriage that she had was denied. The first match she was looking at for marriage was denied by her sister, the Queen, because it just was not a suitable match. Lastly, what she would advise Harry and his family and love life. Now, we're going to do something a little bit extra special here. And what I have done is I actually asked ChatGPT to provide some channeling for me. And originally I used ChatGPT to create my outlines and the questions that I want to ask the tarot. And I said, we're going to continue with some challenging. And I guess my wording was incorrect. And ChatGPT actually did some of their own channeling. So we're going to talk about that. And I want your opinion about what you think of that. I don't think it's a cheat. For me anyway, because it's just like I have another psychic here answering questions. So buckle up for that, buttercups, because it's pretty cool. And I'm going to do a bonus section. Usually I keep my readings to 3 sections, but we're going to do a bonus section here. What Margaret would say about Meghan Markle before, during, and after the wedding. So let's giddy up, buttercups. I am going to bring up that card view. And we are going to use one of these really, really cool card views here. Let me see if I can get it to work. Stick with me, kids. That's the one that I want. That's the one that I want. So we're not going to pull too many cards, and I'm going to do a lot of reading here. So I want to make sure that you see it. So here we go. Section 1. Princess Margaret's great love was Group Captain Peter Townsend. He was a divorced man, a war hero, and he was the love of her life, according to many. Their relationship was made public in 1953, but the Church and Royal Marriages Act forbade her from marrying him without giving up her royal rights. In 1955, she ended it publicly. The note that was sent out publicly was absolutely heartbreaking, choosing her duty over love. And this was a decision that her sister made, the Queen Elizabeth II. It left her deeply scarred, and later she admitted that she never felt entirely home in her royal role again. So quite sad, quite sad. So Margaret's sacrifice in love. Let's see what we get. Card number 1. Oh, she really stuck with tradition on this one. We got the King of Pentacles, and that is inflexible, looking at the legacy of the family rather than personal legacy. The King of Pentacles looks at the bigger picture. He looks at all of the things that are in play. What can Harry learn about following or abandoning love at all cost? That sometimes we must part with affairs of the heart. And lastly, how is history repeating itself in Harry's story? Queen of Pentacles. This is working on that family legacy. I want you to make sure that you look at the different cards that we have in attendance here. If the King of Pentacles serves the legacy, then Harry should be cultivating that legacy and working toward it. Right now, he's not. Right now, he is not. So, channeling a message from her by ChatGPT. My dearest nephew of spirit, know this. I gave up the great love of my life because the walls around me were stronger than my desire. It left me a little fractured. You must ask yourself, are you building your life in freedom or rebellion? Life without freedom turns sour, but freedom without wisdom can burn bridges you may wish to cross again. Ooh, very, very loud message there. So, moving into part 2, in 1960, Princess Margaret, married Antony Armstrong-Jones, a commoner and a creative soul. At first, this was a dazzling match, but over time, their worlds clashed. She, bound by tradition and that legacy that we discussed in section 1, and he, thriving in freedom. Affair, scandal, bitterness ensued, and eventually they divorced in 1978. It was the first royal divorce in centuries. So, within the royal family, the energy of mismatched unions, what message does Margaret send to her nephew? Is that it will put you on the outside. It will be stripping you of all the frippery and fabulousness of being a royal. Are you true to yourself? Do you find your truest north? Do you find those things that your heart pulls you toward? Indeed. Do you find absolution in that? I don't know. It seems that Harry is quite unhappy in his current situation with his current bride. What works when different worlds collide? It doesn't. It doesn't. That is a 10 of Cups in reverse, and different cultures, different intents, different needs for the collective family will always collide. Margaret's warning to Harry about repeating her mistakes. Well, there's that freedom again. freeing oneself from the prison, but are we always running from the prison guard? Are we always looking over our shoulder? And are we struggling to survive outside of the institution? I think so. So channeling sweet Margaret. I don't know if anyone would classify her as sweet, but love, this is from ChatGPT, love across class, culture, and expectation is intoxicating. But mismatches require grace and compromise. Without it, love becomes a battlefield. Love is a battlefield. Chemistry cannot overcome resentment. And if you and Meghan are to endure, both of you must honor not only each other's wounds, but each other's heritage. To war endlessly against the world is exhausting. At some point, you must choose peace inside your own four walls. Now, I am going to do an impromptu, unscripted reading here. What would Margaret advise Meghan about her own family relations? Because we know Meghan is only friendly with, it looks like, one family member. What would Margaret advise Meghan? What you want security and to be right. What you need is to reveal all. What you get will be justice served. Justice served. Oof. Little bit tough there. So Margaret lived as the family's wild spirit. She was a drinker. She was singing, telling bawdy jokes at parties, all kinds of fun stuff. She had that wonderful place in, I believe, Mystique. She had a gorgeous home in Mystique. She was pretty much constantly rebelling, but within the framework of being a princess. Beneath all of this, she was a woman who longed for belonging and security. She knows what it means to be both adored and isolated at the same time. Very tricky spot to be in. How does dear sweet Auntie Margaret with her biro, how does she see Harry's role as a renegade royal? He has lost control. He has given up control over the things that are within his culture. What does Harry need to remember as a husband and father? Oh, he needs to remember the angst and the difficulty that he felt when he was growing up. The separation and the gulf between his two parents and the conflicts that created. He needs to remember that. And he needs to ask himself if he too is doing that same thing. Is he doing that? What guidance does she offer him about balancing rebellion and family? Duty to the crown. Duty to the monarch, as did Margaret. Is there any concession she makes for the passage of time and the modernization of the world? Does she make any concessions for that? No, not a bit. Not a bit. She makes zero concessions for the modern world. Within the castle walls, there is a timelessness and there is duty to the monarch, and that is all. This is our plight as prince and princess of the blood. Very serious message. AI's channeling of Margaret says here, Harry, you can carry the spirit of renegade as I once did, but rebellion burns hot and family is slow burning fuel. Stop defending yourself by what you are not. Instead, decide what kind of man, husband, and father you wish to be. Tend to your hearth, Harry, for someday you will want the comfort of both roots and wings. Intense, neat message there. So, our bonus section. What does Margaret think of Meghan Markle? So, prior to the wedding, so sorry about that, guys. I had a very urgent phone call that came through twice. I had to grab that. So, back to Margaret on Meghan Markle. Before the wedding, Margaret's opinion was she is beautiful, ambitious, and like anyone the firm has embraced. I admire her boldness, and I once thought that love could storm the palace gates. Now, what she did think during the wedding, the grandeur of St. George's Chapel, the gospel choir, the global audience. Oh, how I adored the spectacle. But I whispered, this is not only a marriage of two hearts, but of colliding worlds. So after the wedding, I sighed at the bitterness. Meghan underestimated the cruelty of tradition. Harry underestimated the weight of expectation. My counsel, if you leave, leave gracefully, for bitterness feeds the beast you wish to starve. And yet I pity her, for I know what it is to love someone the crown will never allow to be free. Not what I expected. Let's get some cards on this and wrap up this reading. My good friends, don't forget that I have WhatsApp and text message readings that you can get at any time. Quick, cheap, and easy. Not that I'm cheap, but it's quick and easy for you. You just set it up and I will send over a picture of the spread and answer your questions. Let's see how we can answer Margaret's questions. Link is in the description. Margaret's view of Meghan before the wedding. Interestingly enough, she did not think that Meghan brought very much to the table. Did she think there was potential? No. She thought there was beauty, but no brains. Very interesting. Her view as of Meghan as a duchess and a bride. Not moving forward. Not going to work. I think essentially she wanted Meghan to stop and really consider what she was doing. Her view of Meghan after their departure. Page of Pentacles in reverse. One that dreams big but cannot produce a thing. What a pity. So there we have it. Princess Margaret speaking to Harry across time and dimensions. Her story, Princess Margaret, is a story of love lost, mismatched unions, and rebellion. And this resonates so strongly with Harry's journey that we know today. And through the cards, she has shown us that freedom must be chosen with wisdom, and that family, no matter how fractured, no matter how distant, no matter how many oceans separate them, still matter. She knew that living in Mystique in her island paradise. The crown kept calling her back. What do you guys think? Those of you that remember Princess Margaret, I do. I certainly do. She's the rock and roll princess. What do you think Margaret would have contributed to Harry and Meghan's union had she survived long enough to be a voice in the room? Do you think she would have been Harry's greatest ally? Would she have been Meghan's ally? Or would she have been the loud, steely voice of tradition in the room? Would she have taken the framework of her own personal sacrifice and applied it to Harry's life and told him, this is the way? Would she have done that? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I really want to know what some of you think about this, especially you ladies of an age out there. Those of you that remember our dear Princess Margaret, madam. Let me know what you think she would have done, that rock and roll princess. So again, if you would like a magical private reading with me, there is a link down below, and I will be off for face-to-face readings from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but you can get WhatsApp readings from me. So take advantage of that, and also take advantage of the $99 sale that I have going on all the way through Halloween. And as I have been doing all this week, please, please, please click on the video that I tag at the end of this. That is my friend Alicia Wicker's. Alicia is going to be out of commission for a little bit, and I want to make sure that she has her watch time and her watch hours, and she gets some ad revenue while she is recovering. So if you guys want to give her a sub, that would be even better. She's fantastic, and she's a very dear friend of mine. So thank you so much for enjoying this reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the future.